But while we're talking about these matters moving from the UK to the US, I'm sure you've heard of the TV show Family Feud. They've rebooted it in various forms in this country. I think it was 2006. I remember it was Bert's Family Feud with Bert Newton here in Australia. I quite enjoyed it as a child. But Family Feud is still going in the US, and they have a celebrity edition of Family Feud. And so they've had this celebrity edition of Family Feud with these people, none of whom I've ever heard of: Laverne Cox, Mila Jam, Jocelyn de Vries and T.S. Madison, which I don't know who the hell they are, but they all happen to be transgender. And, well, they were cracking some fruity jokes, shall we say.
T.S.? Can I just call you T.S. or we need the whole thing?
You can give, listen, I take it short or long.
Steve Harvey, it's okay to free ball. We're free balling today all day. Free ball!
Some of us are without the B word. So some of us are free, some of us have set them free.
Oh my God.
Now, look, apparently this has incensed some viewers, and they've said, oh, you've got to stop watching the show. And I thought it was funny, to be honest. They've got a sense of humour. If you don't like it, just like if you don't like watching me, turn off the telly and go and watch something else. But an interesting part of this is that as part of Celebrity Family Feud, they raise money for a charity, and that team was raising money for a charity that belongs to one of the participants, T.S. Madison, who made that joke you saw at the beginning of that clip. And this charity, which is called T.S. Madison Starter House, is, and I'm quoting here, I'm telling you that this is real, it is a charity for it is an innovative housing initiative designed to support and empower black trans women engaged in sex work. Now, if you don't quite know what that means, it means if you are a black transgender person who's been banged up in jail for being a sex worker, they put you in a house when you get released from prison. It would have to be the most niche charity of all time. I didn't know this was such an issue in the United States, that you needed a specific charity to run a house for transgender black people who've been locked up for being prostitutes.
And people wonder why Donald Trump won the election. Honestly, to have an all-transgendered team on Family Feud, survey says, ta-da,
well,
not a good idea.
They would have known what they were doing by allowing these guys to come on the show. They all have social media. It's pretty clear that they're quite wild characters. And so it's kind of on Disney for this one, for letting them go on a show called Family Feud. They are, especially given, well, T.S. Madison definitely was a prostitute engaged in sex work. I mean, this is where the whole charity idea comes from. She was a black trans woman in sex work in the deep south of America as well.
Quite brave, really.
Very brave. But yeah, I mean, doesn't this just epitomise the culture war that is raging in the US? I mean, the most niche minority group who somehow have a grievance against the system and are going to raise money for themselves and their own friends to live in a house together.
You could be raising, you know, money for starving African children and all these sorts of things.
Or you could just have a game show that's a fun game show. It's owned by Disney now, right? I remember as a kid on Saturday nights we'd be allowed to stay up and watch The Wonderful World of Disney or whatever it was called, and it was certainly not...
You weren't watching Hey Hey It's Saturday?
No, I wasn't, and I certainly wasn't watching Family Feud like that.